Hi, my name is Frank van Tillaart and I am super excited right now going into my first interview. Today we're going to meet Samuel, and I met Samuel a few months ago, or Samuel came onto my radar, and the energy Samuel transmits on the screen, on recordings, is just amazing. He has been able to turn his life around in the matter of a few days. And since in a few months, he's had some additional lessons. And in this interview, I want to go through a few questions and see how that transition happened for Samuel. So, Sam, how is everything going today?
Yo, yo. Hey, what's up, Frank? Thanks for having me here, by the way. I know we planned this out, like we had to switch the dates, but we're here now. Guys, I'm gonna be really honest. I'm a little caffeinated right now. Here in Florida, we're all Cubans here, we're all Hispanic, and we have these little tiny cups, right? But this little cup has like 300 milligrams of caffeine because all we drink is espresso down here. And man, this thing just wakes you right up. Right now, I'm like I'm like super awake. So I'm doing awesome, man. I'm excited to be here.
Cool. So we discussed a few questions. We discussed a bit about let's go through the journey from negativity to awakening, learning to commit to skills, into execution, and on to the freedom lifestyle. Before we dive into that, is there anything you want to share with our audience?
I love that. It's like before we get started, we're gonna ask a question. Awesome. So basically, I want to kind of preface my story, right, a little bit before I even tell it. Guys, I want you guys to know that my success, it wasn't that long ago, right? It's still very fresh on my heart. So keep in mind, if I get really emotional when telling my story, just keep in mind that it's still very fresh on my heart, right? And it's even to this day, it's only been like 4 or 5 months, so it's really hard to tell, right? So if I get too emotional, right, just bear with me, right? But it's gonna inspire you guys. Hopefully it inspires you. Hopefully it shows you that we're not defined by where we start in life, right? Where we start in life doesn't define where we finish it. And I hope my story is live testimony to that.
Exactly. That's amazing, man. Um, into or throughout the story, I don't know when or how you met our great creator, God. I do know there's a lot of definitions, many definitions throughout the world about what God is, who God is. Is he the source of evil, source of good? Where is the boundary between all of that? Can you share with us a bit about what is your definition of God, and also what is your relationship to
I love that question, man. This might be a loaded answer, so guys, bear with me. But to understand God, you have to first understand who Jesus was, right? And there's a reason for that. Because think of it, God, a being, a conscious being who can create universes. We haven't even explored this whole universe. We barely even explored the earth, right? A being that can create multiple universes. It's very hard for us to imagine what a being like that would look like. It's almost impossible. Like it's beyond our imagination what something like that would look like. But now when we look at Jesus Christ, it gives us a physical representation of what God would be like, right? And Jesus said that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me, and you're also in me, and I am in you. And what that means is that we are inside of God. This physical universe it's literally the body of God. We're inside of his body. And guess what? God, who is in the spirit, he's in heaven, he's in the spirit, he's also inside of us. And this is a way to prove it. Everyone that's watching, you can prove it right now. Have you ever questioned, what's that little voice in my head? The one that gives me advice, the one that counsels me when I'm going through hard times, the one that motivates me when I'm at the top of my performance. That little voice in your head, that's your direct connection to God. You are talking to him. Every day you're talking to him. Some people don't know it, some people do. Right? And that's, for me, that was proof that God exists. The fact that I have this higher power, I have this higher knowledge that is giving me wisdom, it proves to me that, without a doubt, there is a universal being that I was born from. And God said I made them in my likeness, and I saw that it was good. Now my answer to, like, my little definition of that. If we are made in God's likeness, when I'm looking at you, Frank, you would, if God was to come down in the flesh in a masculine form, you're not that different from him, because we're made like him. Our bodies are made like him, except that we have our physical bodies. God's physical body is the physical universe, right? We have our spirits. God's spirit is the whole metaphysical universe, right? We have our minds. God's mind is the highest state of existence, which is the vibrational realm, the state of infinite possibilities. Why do you think we have an imagination? Because God has it. Why do you think we have a heart? Because God has a heart. Why do you think we have a body? Because God has a body. And here's the thing, the truth is, we are his body. We are the church that Jesus Christ came on earth. Like when Jesus talked about churches and synagogues, he wasn't talking about a building. He was talking about you. You are the church. The Father is within you, and you're within him. So that's kind of my take on all that. And that played such a big influence, man, in my success. Because even now looking back at it, all the right things happened to me at the right time. It was all perfect timing. When you look, it's hilarious how that works. Right? When you look back at your struggles, you don't regret them, because you're like, where would I be if I didn't go through them, right? So that's why now I'm closer to God than ever. You know, now I really do feel like he's in every thought that I think, every word that I say. I mean, he's on the Zoom call right now, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to say hallelujah to all of that. I really love the explanation. And indeed, you know, God is everywhere. God is all around us. And follow-up question, that voice in our heads. I've been through, you know, a lot of different voices. And the voice sometimes is a bit skeptical or a bit negative. And if we believe the voice is always coming from God, or we don't doubt it in our human form, you know, with free will, we have the choice to follow up on one or the other thought. How do you make that discernment between the good thoughts, the bad thoughts? And this ties a little bit into the first step of the further journey.
That's a good question.
Exactly. What about negativity? You know, we start our life journey, and there is some negativity, there is some complacency, there is some form of pain. Can you share a bit about the background, the things you went through, and how you came to find that true voice of goodness, of love, all of that?
All right, awesome. So there is two questions in there. So I'm going to answer the first one, and then I'm going to answer the second one. The first one was really good. I know a lot of people, they're probably thinking that too, like that voice in your head. If you always believe it's God, you know, how do you know when to listen to it and when to ignore it, right? Whether it's positive or negative. Here's the way that works. The first part of it is faith, right? It's faith. You need to know that when you make a decision, God is in that decision with you, right? There's a divine purpose for that decision. But keep in mind also, there's a God. God right now, remember, God is light, right? God said, I am light. He created light. Light, the Bible, when it says light, it actually means life. He's the God of life. He said it in the scriptures that I am not the God of the dead. Let the dead handle the dead, because I am the God of life, of the living. That's what he said. I'm the God of the living. He's the God of life. But in order for the God of life, for us to honor him, there must be something that represents death, something that handles death. We refer to it as the evil one. For whatever the light is, death is the opposite. Remember, God said, through me you have eternal life. Why? Because when you're in life, there's no death. But when you're with death, there is death, right? You die spiritually, you die physically, you die in all aspects of it, right? So now, with that said, that voice in your head, it is almost like two voices, right? You have the God of life, and then you have the evil one. They're both speaking to you. Now, here's the thing. Here's how you're able to really take out the evil one completely and repel him or her, whatever that is, right? It's an energy. So this is how you repel it. Faith in God, knowing that, because me, honestly, bro, I know I'm a child of God. I know who I am. I remember who I am. The scripture tells me that I am a child of God. And Jesus Christ said, and this is proof of it. Jesus said, because you believe in me, right? You are like brothers and sisters. You are a mother to me, right? You are a brother. You are a sister to me. Guess what? Jesus Christ is God in the flesh. And God is telling us that we are brothers and sisters to him. Our Creator is telling us that we are like brothers and sisters. Knowing that, can you imagine the power that we have inside of us? The unfathomable power. Guess what? The evil one, he can't get nowhere near us. He's scared of us. I like to believe that when I wake up from my bed, I heard this from a friend of mine, Charlene Savage, and now I know what she means. When I wake up from my bed, the evil one is crying. He's like, no, go back to bed, right? Because I bring life. I have life inside of me, and I give life to others, right? So that's how you defeat that negative voice in your head. You tell yourself, wait a minute, through my authority and through the authority that Jesus Christ gave me, I'm going to make the decision that God wants me to make, and I'm not going to be scared. There's nothing to be scared of. Why? Because I have eternal life. What is there to be scared of? If I don't even fear death, nothing can hurt me. No decision can hurt me, right? So that's, I hope that answered the first question.
I really love the part about having faith in God. You know, the moment you get born, you know, perhaps, you know, mentally we don't know the concept of God yet. We don't know how to describe it. The children are always full of energy. Mm-hmm. But then somewhere in life, you know, the faith is introduced. And if faith is attached to a lot of negativity, or faith is attached to a lot of those non-true things, then you lose faith in having faith. So I think it's a very important step for people to recognize that, and to recognize the power of faith. And if you're going to have faith in anything, have faith in God, you know.
You know, it's awesome that you said that, man, because I always tell people, because I get people come to me all the time about, you know, because there's a lot of people that they believe in God, they're whatever religion they're in, they believe in God, but their faith is dwindling, right? And here's my answer to all those people that maybe you've gone through so many tough times, you've been beaten down so many times, and now you doubt the existence of God, right? You don't have to believe in a religion to believe in a creator. Because remember, you are the church, right? God is within you and you're within him, right? And everywhere you look, you will see God. In these very walls that are around me, if I were to get a little molecular microscope, there's life in these walls on the molecular level. God is already here, right? If your faith is dwindling, my highest recommendation, go on and just trust me, all right? Trust me, and take a little leap of faith today. Spend an hour and just pray. I want you to pray, and I want you to ask very deep questions, because God is listening. The moment you think something, you're speaking to the Almighty already. So just ask a question. God, where's my next direction? Now, here's the thing. When you ask, you shall receive. But this is something Jesus said. People have ears, but they do not listen. They have eyes, but they do not see. In other words, God, every day he shows you, he makes you hear things, whether it's words, music, anything, to tell you that he's there, and we do not listen. He shows you miracles. He shows you things in your life, and we disregard those things, and we do not see. My answer to that is, if you're watching this, pray, open your eyes, and see the signs in front of you. Stop being skeptical and see the signs in front of you. Open your ears and listen, and you will know that our God is almighty. You will know that God does exist, and you'll also know who you are. You'll remember who you actually are. And that'll remove all fear from your life. So now I actually want to answer the second question just before we move forward on this conversation. I think the second question you asked me was about negativity. Like, can you kind of say it again? Like, what did you want to know about negativity? Like, how do you overcome it? Or
so continuing in the interview, I think we're going to use the example of God and how we look at him to, you know, explain stuff and all of that. You're doing an amazing job, by the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
God
is speaking.
God is speaking, absolutely. Every word, again and again and again. But I also like to have a bit of a down-to-earth view. Mm-hmm. So let's have a bit of the example, like, what are you coming from? You mentioned it in the introduction already a little. let's dive into that. Sorry if it becomes emotional, but you know, we're dealing with that.
I want to tell my story. Trust me, I want to tell my story.
Exactly. Okay.
Awesome.
So
I'm gonna turn it back then. I'm gonna turn all the way back to where everything started for me, right? I think this is when I actually started living life. So basically, it was the one day when I was just, in my room, and my mom, she came into my room and she told me, son, pack up your things, we're leaving. Out of nowhere. And I was like, wait, what do you mean? What's happening? She actually told me, son, we have no home. Pack up your stuff, put it in the trunk, right? So I packed up all my stuff, I put it in the trunk, and then we got in the car. In that car, my mother broke down crying, and it hit me what happened. As a son, I wasn't able to we were now on the streets, and I didn't have the finances to help my mother. I didn't have the knowledge to get us off the streets. That's the moment I felt like a failure. I felt like I failed my mother. I failed my little sister, right? I failed myself, because this whole entire time I wasn't living. I was already dead, and I was just still young. I was dead waiting till I was 70, right? So now at that moment, I made a decision. I'm like, after I saw my mom cry, man, like it was demoralizing. I was like, I need to make something happen. Something needs to happen, right? So thankfully, through a connection my mother had, I started working at a bread factory. And that's truly where my journey starts, my personal development journey, right? Because I vowed to myself, this will never happen to my family again, ever. I'll never let this happen again as a son. I'll never let it happen when I become a father. Never will it happen to me again, right? Because now I'm going to start living. So now in that factory, I started reading personal development books. Most people, we're all working jobs, right? Most people work a job. So, and I started there, right? I wasn't born into riches. I mean, I came from homelessness, right? I was born in like a lower class family. So now in the factory, right? Every single week, I would read a new book. And a lot of people, they're like, reading a book a week? Are you serious? Is that even possible? When you're working 10 to 14 hours a day and that's all you do, like you plug in the audiobooks while you're working, you will get through a book or more a day. Like per week, you'll get through more than a book. So I started growing. I knew that I wasn't ready for success yet, because I realized that this whole game of success, it's not easy. It's very hard. It's the hardest thing on this planet to accomplish. That's why so few people have it, right? Because it's one of the toughest things to do. And that's where I started meeting God. Throughout the whole time in that factory, I started, asking these deep questions like, God, what's my purpose? I know I don't want to be here forever. I know I have potential. I believe in myself enough to know that if I'm given the right opportunity, I can do this, but I need you to show me. I need help. I need help. And that's going to play a big part in the later part of this story. Those 3 words, I need help, right? So what started happening after that first month, I started Googling how to make money online in 2018. Because the thing is that I was living paycheck to paycheck. I wasn't making enough money to know, if I were to lose that job and the same thing happened, we would be on the streets again. And I was not going to let that happen. I needed something to work. So I started searching up ways to make money. And that's when I entered the rabbit hole. I started joining program after program after program. They all promised riches. They all promised success. They all promised it's what's the word, turnkey, right? That, you just spend your money in it. Somehow you make money, right? I learned the hard way. A business is a business. It's not easy. It's very hard. One of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life. But I also saw the future, that it's worth it. Because the people that did make it, they were free. That's what I wanted. That's truly what I wanted. I didn't just want to take care of my family. I wanted freedom. Deep in my heart, I knew I wanted freedom. And I wasn't going to get there being in the factory. So after going through all these programs and just wasting all this money, I prayed. And now this is where I broke down and I prayed to God. God, show me a way, right? Show me a way. And it's funny because now when I look back at it, I'm glad that I went through so many failures in such a short amount of time, because that actually showed me, right? It helped me grow as a person. I became wise. God gave me wisdom, right? And then I told him, like, I need help. I'm done trying. I don't want to join another program, God. Do not lead me to another program. I just need help. I already have 100 programs. I need help. So what God did, he led me to somebody. He led me to a person that you and I, we both know now as our mentor. And this guy was a documented multimillionaire. And here's the thing. Every program I joined had a multimillionaire promoting it. So I needed to make sure, I'm like, God, give me wisdom. How can I make sure that this guy's the real deal? That very same day, when he led me to this man, that man did a webinar. I got on the call. He shared his screen. Then I saw it with my very own eyes. $232,000 and some change. He showed his results on the screen. And I was like, that's more money than I would make at this factory in like 10 years, right? And I'm like, this guy's the real deal. And more than that, boom, a testimonial came, a live testimonial. So one of his students has been with him for a year, told her story, going from living off credit cards to $140,000 in a year. Another student came in, boom, real estate agent. She was already successful. She didn't come from a poor background, but she took her real estate business. She added $120 in 9 months. Another testimony came in, boom, car washer, been washing cars for a long time. After a year, made $140,000. And this is the one thing they all had in common. It wasn't the program, because they were all doing different programs. It was the mentor. It was the help. Right there is when I had a realization. This is the man that God sent to me to help me. Right? And that's when I reached out. I reached out to him, and I'm like, dude, what do I have to do for you to help me? Please don't give me another program. What do I have to pay you for you to help me? And it shocked me. He actually told me, he's like, Sam, I'm gonna be straight out with you. When I first started, he started this industry 30 years ago. When he first started, he reached out to a man like where he is right now, like a man that was already successful. And he asked him, what do I have to do for you to help me? That man told him, if you can come up with $4,000, 30 years ago, that's $15,000 today. $4,000, I'll mentor you. But if you can't do that within the next couple days, you weren't ready for this anyways, right? And when he told him that, I'm like, then he told me, so Sam, I'm going to say to you, it's going to cost you $1,350. And if you cannot come up with that, if you don't see the value of having a multimillionaire help you, then you're not ready for this. You weren't ready for this anyways, right? And he told me that. So when he told me that, it kind of, I'm gonna be honest, my emotions, like they were in my stomach. They literally, like, I felt heavy. I'm like, oh God, I don't have the money, right? I'm like, Lord, I don't have the money. I'm nowhere near that money. But thanks to all the books that I've been reading, it showed me that instead of being a victim, I want to be a victor. I want to be a leader. I want to be someone who wins. So although I don't have the money, how can I get the money? How can I start saving up? Like, how long would it take me? I did the math. It was going to take me 3 months. 3 months of saving up money in the factory for me to get started. That's exactly what I did. I actually told him, like, look, I don't have the money. Give me some time. I'll reach out to you when I'm ready. And as you probably know, our mentor, he's a very, he's like in his 60s, right? So he's very dry sometimes when he replies. He just gave me a thumbs up. Right? He just gave me a thumbs up. And I'm like, okay, awesome. So now what I did is that for the next 2 months, 2 to 3 months, it was about 3 months. I saved up $1,350. That same week that I saw the money, I saw the number in my bank, I went up to my boss and I said, I think his name was it Ricardo? I forgot his name, to be honest. Roberto. His name was Roberto. Right? It's been so long already, I forget. His name was Roberto. And I told him, Roberto, I want to thank you. Thank you for giving me this job. You saved my life. Right? You don't even know it. You saved my life by giving me this job. I'm glad I was able to make you money. I'm glad I was a valuable asset to this factory, but I found something that I want to make my career and I want to move on to it. So because of that, I'm going to quit this week. You have to find somebody else. Look, I'll train them. You have to pay me still, but I'll train them and I'll teach them all that I can teach them, but I'm leaving after this week. And my boss, he looked at me in the eyes. First, he was shocked. And then I could see it in his face. That tension relaxed. And he told me, Sam, you can do it. You actually have a lot of potential, and you're wasting that potential here, right? So you know what? If that's what you decided, go and do it, right? And I gave him a little handshake. We got each other's phone number. We took a picture together. I took a selfie with him. I still have it on my phone. And I quit the job that same week. And on Saturday, I was at my dad's house. I went up to our mentor, and I told him, dude, look, I have the money. Give me your link. Boom, give me the link. Ratatata. I'm in, right? I signed in. I just spent $1,250. Now I don't have a job, right? So that this has to work. This has to work. I'm at the end of my rope. This has to work, or I'm going for failure here, right? This has to freaking work. I'm on an island, and I burned all the ships, and I also burned all the bridges in the island, right? So when he told me that, Sam, look, go through some training videos. All right, I went through all the training videos. He got on a call with me. He helped me through a couple of kinks. I spent 4 days training. Day number 5, I made $1,000. Day number 6, I made $1,000. Day number 5, I've already made thousands and thousands of dollars. By day number 10, I made more money in 1 month than I made in 7 months at the factory. And here's the good thing. Here's the thing that I want to make sure I validate all this. If anybody were to come to me right now and tell me, Sam, prove it to me, I have the documentation. I have the proof. And here's the thing about leaders. If I know that you're qualified, that the only thing that's stopping you from joining me is that you want to see the numbers. Guys, before I joined, my mentor showed me the numbers. And if somebody needs that from me, I'll show them the numbers. I'll show them $15,450 in the last month. I'll show them that. I'll show them that I got number 3 in the leaderboards just recently, and I made over $1,000 on that launch. I'll show them the results because I'm not afraid to show them results, right? Because the thing is that after I show them results, they can finally start believing in it, and they can start believing in themselves, and they can see that if I can do it coming from nothing, they can probably do it too. And they should be able to do it. Right? I think everybody can do it. Because why? Because God is inside of us. We all have potential, all of us. I don't care where you are in life, you're worth more. You're actually being underpaid right now. If you're working a job, I guarantee you're being underpaid. Because there's no amount of money on this planet that can equal what you're worth. It's not until you start really believing that, until just money just starts pouring into your life where you're like, I deserve all this. Right? I'm worth more than all this. Right? Why? Because I'm a child of God and I'm priceless. My life is priceless. Right? And you really start. So that's my story, man. Like literally this mentorship, it more than the money, because obviously I'm not going to lie and say, oh, the money doesn't matter. The money is important, right? Because now I feel more secure. But more than that, I love myself now. This program taught me how to truly love myself. It taught me how to really know what I'm worth. And to me, that's worth more than the money that I made. So that's where I'm at right now.
That is so amazing to hear about. And I have to say that there is a few parallels in your story that I'm also going through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have actually quit my job. So I have like 6 weeks left because, giving time and whatever. Mm-hmm. But I finally made the choice, like, this is the thing that I like to do. Talking to people, helping people, finding out where their problems are, offering solutions. And if you don't have a solution, be the point, man, go to the next one. Mm-hmm. And I've been a bit holding myself back. About 3 years ago, my struggle started with my mind exploded. And everything that I've learned up until that point, it was like a mixer. Everything became scrambled in my head. And I had to relearn all these things. I had to relearn thinking. I had to relearn emotions. And being in this program, even though I've been quite inactive until now, being in this program, talking to Darren, it's amazing how much someone can love you, even if they're half a globe away. It's amazing how much love gets transmitted through the group. You see all these people, building each other up, and that's I think a major discourse between the group and average society. Mm-hmm. So I've been struggling with the negativity part myself a bit. Finally made the commitment, we're going to do this and we're going to go all in. And
you've grown so much, right? Exactly. You've grown a lot. Yeah. I guarantee you this year you've grown more than ever before.
Oh, right? Absolutely.
That's live, even that right there, that's live testimony that, this isn't just a program. It's a mentor.
Exactly.
It's something that you're going to be brought into it. And not only that, you can get paid to change people's lives. Because when I bring somebody into the program, forget about the money. I know that I'm about to change their life. Not my bad, not me. My mentors are going to change their lives, and I'm going to make sure that they don't quit. I'm going to make sure that, that they have everything they need. I'm going to make sure that they have the support, that they have the coaching, that they have the accountability, right? Because if people had those three things, we wouldn't have a 97% failure rate in this industry, right? If people were held accountable, they had a coach, they had a pillar of support that they can lean on when they're at their lowest, right? They'll succeed. Because here's the thing, this is what I learned about failure. No failure is permanent. Even if it feels like it, in the span of your life, like look, you and me, Frank, we're young still, right? We still have over 40 to 50 to 60 years inside of us right now, right? And even more, if we're really healthy, even more. When you look at your failures right now, or if you look at the struggles you're going through, ask yourself this: will this even matter in the next 10 years? 10 years sounds like a lot of time, but in the grand scope of how long you're going to live, it'll go like that in a flash, right? So there's no failure, no defeat is permanent. It's temporary. It's only going to make you better for the next success, right?
Absolutely. If you have the courage, the mindset to learn from your mistake and to build upon the things that are there, which is what all of the business is about, I think. Building people up.
Yep.
Learning that failure is just temporary, and this actually ties into how you started your story, which I want to add another question to. You mentioned that there are so few people that actually accomplish success.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, let's call it an insight that you had, that you started pursuing, like, if there are so few people that actually reach that finish line, the success, the freedom, etc. You already discussed quite a few other questions I had, but one thing that I have about, the awakening path, the discovery path, the paradigm shift that we go through. What are some of the things that you had to unlearn from earlier?
Did I have to repeat that question one last time, please?
What are some things that you had to unlearn? So you had to forget about things you knew before.
I mean, I'm only human, right? So even to this day, I still go through some of these negativity stuff. I still have to do personal development every day, because I think back to who I was in the past, because this was only like 5 months ago, right? So what I do, I still have to be coachable, right? Sometimes, I'll be honest, I would go through a whole week of not being coachable. I wouldn't do the work. I'll get lazy, right? I get comfortable, right? Oh, I made all this money, right? I can live off this for a year now. I don't have to work, right? That's a very toxic mindset, because you become complacent, and faster than you know it, the money's gone, right? And now you're back at square one. And that's one of the worst things, man. That happens. I think that happened to me 2 months ago, right? I got to the top, over $30,000. Then I got taken back down to 10. Then now I'm working my way back up, right? Because I just spent money. Because I got so comfortable making this money. I've never made all this money before. I just started blowing it. Guys, I'm only human, right? I just started blowing it. And before, by the way, when I got taken back, not to the very bottom, thank God, not to the very bottom again, but when I got taken back down, like to reality, when I humbled myself again, I have to keep humbling myself. I found Jesus Christ. That's around the time that I found Jesus Christ. When her name is Charlene Savage. She's one of the leaders in the groups. She got me on a Zoom call, and she had me surrender myself to Jesus Christ. And from that point on, I made a little. It's funny, because imagine we make deals amongst ourselves as human beings. Guess what? You can make a deal with God. And I made a deal with God. I'm like, God, you handle the money, I'll do the work. I'm not going to even think about the money. When I'm talking to people right now, even when I get them on the phone call, I don't care about the money. God, if I'm meant to make money on that call, then it's because God allowed it to happen, right? If not, now was not the right time. But I'm going to give value. I'm going to speak from my heart, right? I'm going to speak my truth, right? And that's kind of like, even now, like, so that's my answer, man. Like, that's what I still have to, humble myself, right? So I have to keep unlearning my ego. A lot of people, the only reason they're not reaching out to help right now, it isn't, they're already at the lowest part of their lives. They know they need help. It's their ego. Your ego is there to protect you. It protects you from getting hurt, because we hate getting hurt. But your ego also stops you from stepping into your power and becoming more than what you imagine. Well, I still have to honor my ego. And that this is something that I think, like, dude, this is only my third year. It's only my third year attempting to become successful online. And I had to go through working a job and through all this struggle to finally, but on the third year, finally hit my stride and become successful. That's why I tell people, like, if you're only a year, 2, 3 years in, we're only at the beginning. This is a career. It isn't a hobby. It isn't a job. It's a career. This is my advice to you, to anyone that's watching, that's considering making money online. Go into it as if you're starting a career that's going to last 30 years or more, because that's truly the industry we're in. You're always going to learn, always. I'm only at the beginning, right? My mentor is still learning. He's like 30 something years and he is still learning new stuff, right? So that's kind of my answer. I know I kind of phrased that a little weird, but I hope that answered, man. I hope that answered your question.
That answered enough for now. So once again, it actually ties into the next question. What a coincidence. You're talking about your commitment, finding Jesus, and having that spiritual connection. It's never about the money anymore. Mm-hmm. It's about being there. It's about speaking those words that God wants us to speak. Mm-hmm. But once again, tying that into a down-to-earth view, what does a day or a week currently look like to you? And what do you do in a day? What do you do in a week?
That's an awesome question. I'll try keeping it short then. So I try waking up usually every day. I strive to wake up early, just because a lot of people, they complain about, I don't have enough time to do it. But I learned that it's not that we don't have enough time, it's that we don't make enough time to do things. So I try to wake up early so I can make time for things that I want to do. And for example, I make time for my morning routine that perfects my day. What I do, I wake up, the very first thing I do is pray. Very, very first thing. Literally, even now, like the moment I wake up, in my mind I say, because remember, God is inside of us. He can hear my thoughts. I'm like, God, thank you so much for another day alive. I wake up with gratitude, right? Always. And now it's a habit where now I have to wake up with gratitude. It's just, I do it every day now. It's a habit. Once I get up from bed, right, I go to the bathroom, I do some mirror work. I literally look at myself and I tell myself, I love you. You're going to do awesome today. God is inside of you. You're inside of him. He's rooting for you. And it's funny because when I'm saying that, in my mind, I'm like, God is literally telling me, dude, I can hear you. You don't have to say the words for me to know what you mean. I can hear you. Obviously, I'm there for you already, right? He's funny. Imagine if we're humor, if we can joke with each other, why can't we joke with God? We're made in his likeness. Who do you think invented humor? Him. It came from him. So I joke with God all the time. I'm like, you're right. So I do some mirror work where I love on myself. After I do that, let me see if I have it here. Give me one second. I have it here somewhere. There we go. So I have something called my 10X journal, where I recommend everyone get this. It's worth it. I write down my goals and my targets, right? Let me see if that's the right page. There we go. So here I write down what my goals are, my targets, and then my goals again in the evening. So the moment I'm done doing mirror work, I write down what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish with my life or in the next 60, 90 days, right? Sometimes I'll do like life goals. Other times I'll do like short-term goals. What in the next 60 days? I want to become an amazing storyteller, right? I want to generate $32,000 in net profit, and I want to give away 40% of it, right? That's one of my goals. I want to give away 40% without expecting nothing in return. Another goal of mine, I want to help every single student of mine make at least one sale. Every single one, right? Because if they can make one sale, they can make 10. And if they can make 10, in the long term, they can make 100, right? And that's $100,000 a year, right? And that's what I've been wanting to do. So I write it down. This takes about maybe 10 minutes, because then I write down what are my targets. So I'll be honest, what I do, I don't usually write down my targets in the morning. I write them down the day before. Before I go to bed, I write down what my targets are, right? Okay, I want tomorrow, I know I need to do a Facebook Live. I need to send an email. I need to contact 25 people. I need to call at least 3 people and call them just to add value. Don't call them to sell them something. We're not here to sell. That's not the industry we're in. If you think this industry is just selling products, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be faced with reality. That's not it. This industry is about helping people. It's about helping people grow. It's about growing yourself as well. You help yourself grow. It's also about providing solutions to people's problem, right? For example, I get so many messages of people telling me, their first message, hey, what's up, Sam? Look, I'm a part of this company, and I was, I think you would be super interested in it. I would love to send you over a presentation. If you don't want to watch it, look, no problem. The moment I read that, I know already their intention is that they just want to make money off me. They want to abuse me. They want to utilize my following, right? Even if they don't mean that, that's what that message means, right? That message does this. It pushes me away. So when you message your people, it pushes them away. So what I try to do every day, I try to my intention, I'm not here to sell. I want to make a friend. That's it. Why? Because it's a career. I'm going to be around for 10, 20 years. So in those 10, 20 years, I want to make a lot of friends. Because guys, business will happen amongst friends. It will. It's going to happen amongst friends, right? So to kind of go back to I know we kind of went off point. To go back to the point, so I pray, give gratitude to God, right? I thank him. I joke around with him. I do mirror work. I write my goals. I look at my calendar. I look at my targets, see what I got to get done today. And then I respond to all my messages. I respond to all my messages so I'm up to date. And then I do at least 1 hour of personal development, right? First, I respond to my messages because if I don't, then that's going to be on my mind as I'm learning. And I want to be a clean slate, right? So once I respond to that, go to personal development, just 1 hour. It doesn't have to be a lot of training, just 1 hour of training. Either it's a reminders or I spend like 30 minutes doing, our mentors training, right? Like doing, the training they recommend. And then I spend 30 minutes reading the Bible. That's personal development. The more I read the Bible, the more I grow as a person. That's the whole point. I hope I just gave people some breakthroughs there right now, because I know a lot of people think that personal development has to do with making money. It has to do with becoming successful in business, when in reality, you are personally developing yourself. Anything that helps you do that is considered personal development, right? So I try doing 1 hour. Then after that, I get to work. So that's basically what the morning looks like for me. And that's, if you want to know what my week is, just whatever I just told you, multiply it by 6.
1 free day.
Yep, just multiply that by 6.
Nice. Thank you very much. That's a very nice overview. I also like the way you talk about setting goals and doing it the night before and then revisiting targets. And I think that is one of the main things that mainstream society never commits to. At work, you have a lot of things to do.
Yeah. A lot of people, here's the thing. They look at success stories like mine, like Charlene, like Billy and Nelis, like people that have gone from rags to riches, right? What they don't see is that we work on ourselves a lot. That 1 hour per day, I've been doing that for the past 4 months, right? 1 hour per day, working on myself. Sometimes I'll spend a whole 15 hours working on myself, right? I always have to keep growing. Guys, I'm human. I'm not like a superstar. I wasn't born rich. I wasn't born a prodigy at something. I'm not a genius at something, right? I just don't quit. I just try working harder than everyone else. I try improving every single day, right? That's the secret to my success. I persevere. I don't quit. I keep going.
Once again, ties into the next subject, execution. We have talked about awakening, discovering things, forgetting a few things, setting goals, all those things, defining the work we need to do, channeling God. How do you go about executing those things? Do you have some pointers that can help us with that?
Yeah, I actually have a story. This is going to sound very childish. I'll be vulnerable here, guys. we all have our little escapes that we have for fun, right? One of my escapes from like the work life and from everything else, aside from the Bible, it's I like to watch like Japanese cartoons. It's called anime, right? And now I was watching this one Japanese cartoon that I think God led me to watching this one, because this one gave me a message that even to this day it left an imprint on me. And this is what happened. So there was these two warriors. They were in a battlefield, and one of these warriors.
Which cartoon was that?
I don't remember the name. I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you on it. I don't remember the name of it. I don't. They have like these Japanese names. I don't remember them, but I remember the stories. So these two warriors. I'll tell you after this. Let me just message me. I'll tell you after this. I recommend it. It's really good. Now on this battlefield, right? This one warrior, she was just there scared. She was questioning, why am I even here? Why am I even, like, she's freezing up. Like, do I kill these people or do I not kill them? They're the enemy, right? Do I kill them or not? Then out of nowhere, this other warrior came and he just went, ching, ching. He just ended everyone's life except for her. He saved her because she was going through trouble. She saved her. And then she looked at him like not only in awe and admiration, but in fear. Because this guy just killed all these people without no hesitation, right? Now, I know that sounds really hard. Just bear in mind, in the context, this is a battlefield, right? It's a battlefield. So now this girl went up to him and she's like, how do you do that? How do you actually just do what you just did without hesitation? And then it's funny. He looked at her and he's like, I never really thought about it, but let me actually give it some thought right now. And let me see if I can give you an answer. So he sat down, right? He sat down on, it was this city was surrounded by snow, and there was a pile of snow, right? He sat down on this pile of snow and he's like, all right, I think I know how to tell you. So this is what he did. I wanted you guys to pretend that this is a sword, because he had a sword. He had a sword next to him, like that's his weapon. So what he did is that he said, first, I decide, like, my bad. She asked him, how do you know what's righteous, right? How do you know what's justice? And he's like, all right, first, I make a decision, right? First, I act, right? I make a decision, and then I act. That's simple. First, I think about it, and then I do it. First, I think about it, and then I do it. Does that go with what I do? I make a decision. I'm going to call 3 people. Then I go do it. That's it. I make a decision. I'm gonna go call 3 people, and then I do it. Right? That's how you execute on anything. That's how you take away hesitation. If I have the belief that everything that I think about comes from God, and I truly believe that, and I know that everything I think about is righteous and it's truth in His eyes, I think about what am I gonna do, and then I do it. If right now I want to call somebody right now, I want to help them. I think about I want to help this person, and I go help them. There's no room for skepticism. There's no room for doubt. There's no room for any of that. I simply decide and I do it. And that's the secret. That's the secret to execution, I believe. At least that's what helps me, right? If I'm going to do a Facebook Live, I decide I'm going to do a Facebook Live, and then I do it. There's no room for doubt. There's no room for like procrastination. I just do it.
That is very simple, but amazing. Absolutely. Very, very simple formula, very to the point. And I love the fact that in your story, the sword is represented by a pen. As we all know, the pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah, because I want you to visualize, like, imagine he's teaching her, and he's like if I was to get up right now, he's teaching, he's like, he has a sword right here, and he's like, all right, first I decide, what do I want to do? What's righteous? Then I do what's righteous. He decides what is good, and then he does what is good. And that's how you do not hesitate for anything you do in life. Awesome. I hope I answered your question.
That is absolutely the best answer I've ever received. Thank you very much. Very similar to what Darren also told me a while back, just do it. So simple, just do it. But I like the added edge of, you think about something, is it good? Go. That's, it all comes from a source, it all comes from God. So if there is ever doubt, if there is ever fear, just forget about it.
Right? Literally just do it.
quite a journey so far, Samuel.
Mhm. And it's just beginning. You know, it's I always try to always stay humble. Whenever I talk to somebody, I don't look down on them or anything just because I've made more money. I don't even think about the money. All I think about is where can I add value? Where can they add value to me? I'm still learning. I'm only, I have to check. It's either fifth or sixth, right? I'm still at the beginning, bro. Right? I'm not even like a year into this. So I'm here thinking, where am I going to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What's my message going to be like 20 years from now? Right? So the journey has only just begun, and that's why I'm so excited. That's why I love doing what I do, guys. When you're able to just get paid thousands of dollars per day just for helping people find mentorship, for helping people have breakthroughs, for me, there's nothing more fulfilling in my life, right? So I'm excited, man. Now is only the beginning.
Can you build a bit upon that? How is your freedom, your abundant lifestyle compared to where you come from? Don't compare it. Just tell us about today. You know how freaking amazing is your life right now?
All right. I'll be honest, guys. If you were to see my everyday life, it would bore you out of your mind. Just because the very simple things in life make me happy. I like being in my house, knowing that I'm peaceful, that I don't have to worry about stuff. I love the fact that I'm with my little sister every day, right? I'm always there for her. I love the fact that I get to see my mom when she wakes up and, wish her well on her job and give her a hug in the morning. And I'm able every single night, I'm able to, hang out with my mother, right? I'm grateful for that. I'm my lifestyle, like I like the fact that I can go out whenever I want to go out, not because I need to. Whenever I want to go out, I can go out. I don't have to worry about the money, so I can go out anywhere, right, without worry. I love the fact that I'm my own boss. I love the fact that I'm in an industry that you get paid more the more you grow, right? I love that. I love getting paid more. The more I grow, the more my income grows. The more my income grows, the more I grow. And the more I grow, the more people I help. And the more people I help, the more I grow. You see that there's a cycle. It's literally a cycle. So my lifestyle, like I have a very simple lifestyle, man. I go out whenever I want to go out. I'm usually at home most of my time because I love being home. I love, like, I don't know, you can't see this now, but I have books all around me, and I love being home and growing. I love being home and talking to people on the phone. If anyone, like, by the way, if anyone's just watching, if you ever come by Miami, let me know. Hit me up, or we'll meet up somewhere. We'll meet up for coffee or something. You can treat me out. I know a lot of people are like, you should treat me out. I'm like, I'll let you treat me out. Right? So that's my lifestyle, man. And wow, this has been almost an hour interview. I hope everyone's getting value, by the way. We're going to be ending this soon, I promise. I think we are. It's up to you.
We are close to the end. We are close to the end.
Awesome.
The last part actually ties in quite closely to a current experience of mine, or the thing that happened the past 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Being at home, being with the people you love.
That's the simple stuff, right? I think that's what everybody wants. We all want the same things, guys. Whether, like, even when I'm a millionaire, right? I will get there eventually in my career. Even at $1 million, even at $10 million, I still want the same things as somebody who has nothing. I want to be with my family. I want to feel secure. I want to feel safe. I want to be able to do the things I love, not because I need to or have to, but because I want to. And I want to be able to take care of my parents in old age, right? Like that's literally, like, I think that we all want those same things. That's why I tell people, when you come to for mentorship, when you come to me or Frank for help, and we connect you with our mentors and we coach and we help you, we're coming from that place in our hearts that we're not doing this because we have to. We're not doing this because we need to. We're doing this because we truly want to help you. We truly want to help people. That's what fulfills my life. I want to be remembered by the guy who helped many, not by the guy who made a lot of money. No, by the guy who helped many. That's why I want to be. That's what I want. When I go up to God and I look at my Father in the face, I want to tell him, God, we did it. Look at all the people we helped through your name, right? Because I cannot take the money to heaven, but I can take the good deeds that I did, and I can take it to my Father, right? So that's kind of the driving force. I wanted to kind of just put that in there.
Very nice. Absolutely. Simply amazing indeed. And the way we can help people, the way we can add value to our lives, to other people's lives, you know, through the personal development, growing into a better person than we were before, or perhaps even a better person than we thought was possible. Give your worries in the hand of God and just take care of what we do here on planet Earth in our perfectly human form. And then indeed paying it back to family, to loved ones. That's the amazing part, I believe.
Amen.
Getting close to the end, like you predicted. I want to thank you, Samuel, for sharing all of this. There are some truly golden nuggets in here that, at least to me, are definitely worth spending an hour or a bit more.
All the glory to God, man. This is all God's time, right? All this, I won't be honest, like this is it's gonna sound very weird. And our mentors, they tell us this all the time. Everything I just talked about, guys, I'm talking without thinking. I'm just letting the words flow out of me because I know that God is talking, right? So all the glory to God. Like I don't take any other glory. I'm only here because God wanted me to be here. I only have this success because my Father positioned me to have this success so that I can use it to reach more people. Right, so all the glory to Him, man. No worries that it's been an hour. It's all in God's time.
Hallelujah. After all of this, before we get to the other closing words, is there anything you want to share with our audience after the thing?
I guess the best closing words I can give, like at least the last thing I can share right now before we go to the end, is that what I shared about, you decide to do something, then you do it. Many times when it comes to success, it's the same thing, right? You have to keep swinging that bat until you hit the home run, right? If right now you're at a point in your life where maybe you're in a company, you're in network marketing, or you're in something that you love already, but you want more. You don't need another program. You need help. What I would do if I were back in your shoes, right? I would rewatch this interview. I would pray on it, decide for yourself if you want to be surrounded by people like us. Because me and Frank, we're kind of we're representations of all the leaders inside of there. All the leaders, we're all like this. We all think similar, and the reason we all think similar is because we all think like our mentor, right? And imagine if you get along with us, if you got value from this, imagine when we plug you into the main guy, right? Your life will change. So a lot of times, guys, look, for things like this, you need to get the money out of the way. I always tell people, get the money out of the way so that I can help you already, right? I don't want to keep talking to you and calling you and saying, hey, do you have the money? Hey, are you ready to go? Right? I don't like doing those calls. I want to call you and tell you, hey, all right, so let's get to work. What do we got to do? Where are you right now? All right, let's do this, let's do that, let's help you out, let's get you to your goals, right? So get the money out of the way. I want you to get your sword, decide, I'm going to get the money out of the way. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to surrender my pride, surrender my ego. I'm going to go do it. Decide to do it, go do it. Decide I'm going to change my life and go change your life. Decide I'm going to join the mentorship and change my life, and I'm going to go join the mentorship and reach my goals, and just do it. Right? That's really the last. I think that's the most powerful piece of advice I can give at the end. Decide to do it and just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it.
I love the part about plugging into the main guy. Because at the beginning we spoke about religion a little bit, and you also mentioned the connection to God. And I think it's just amazing to say, like, you are a person, I am a person, we are all just persons. And instead of going through religion and perhaps getting a skewed view on what God is telling us, through all of those ministers and people who share the word, everybody has a direct connection to God. Just plug in, pray, do the work, and then life will prove to you that it is indeed.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. I'm gonna be honest. Some of my students, they joined me just to make money, and after spending like a couple months with me, right? I believe they joined me to get closer to God, because now they're closer to God. Some of them, they came into it just wanting to make money. They don't believe in God. And now some of them are starting to come around. They're starting to find proof that God exists, not only through me, through my results, but through the results of all the success around them, right? So it's very, bro, I love what I do, man. I love the fact that not only can I help people achieve breakthroughs, in my mind, when I'm helping somebody make a decision to spend $1,350 to join mentorship, I'm not just doing it for the money. I'm on a divine mission, because I know that if their faith has been dwindling, it'll be restored in the mentorship. I know that if they believe in God, but they've been doubting, their doubt will be taken away in the mentorship. Even if right now they don't believe in a God, I know that once they start getting more success, and not only once they start talking to people like us every single day, like I have daily accountability calls with my students every single day at 9 a.m. and at 7 p.m. We have a call. And the more my students hang out with me, with other leaders, with our mentors, I know that they're going to get closer to God. They're going to start realizing there's something deeper here, right? And the fact that I get paid for that, how awesome is that? The fact that we get paid $1,000 a day for that. Like, I can do this until my last breath. That literally fulfills me. That makes me feel, that fills my cup, right? Completely fills my cup. I feel awesome doing that. So that's really what we do, guys. I guess it's awesome.
Truly amazing indeed. The accountability calls, the helping people, the part about, showing up. 80% of the work is just showing up, the energy transference, the energy, like I told about, the time I met Samuel, the first few videos, the first few interviews, the live calls we had, it's just beaming off the screen. And everybody, all the leaders are like that. Everybody is transmitting all their love, channeling God into the screen, into the video, into the interview, into you. And that is just an amazing experience to be part of something that is so pure and so close to where we actually come from.
Amen. Love it.
Having said all that, do you think it's time to wrap up?
I think so. It's been, I think now's the perfect time. It's been about an hour. By the way, guys, thank you so much. All of you that, you've listened throughout the story. I hope you got a lot of value. I hope I was able to really convince some of you that he's there, he's listening, he's there. I hope I was able to really bring that, like, at least plant a seed that, over time you'll nurture, right? And it will nurture itself, but over time you can start really opening your eyes, opening your ears, and getting closer to who you are as a person. Right. So thank you so much, guys. So now I think we should wrap up, Frank, just because it's been an hour. I know everyone's probably tired. They wanna, use all this value and kind of collect their thoughts before they make a decision. Right.
Okay. So to everybody listening, I would say, if you see this interview, if you see this broadcast anywhere, reach out to Samuel or me or the person that gave you the link. If there is a button below, sign up. And you have decided to pray, and you have decided to watch the video again, and you have made a decision, you have made a commitment, and you are ready to execute, go ahead, click the button, go through the process. Like Samuel mentioned a few times, it's 1349 to get started. And once you're in, and you will never have to worry about anything ever again.
Can I add something to that?
Of course.
It's a one-time payment, by the way. This is not a monthly thing. It's just $1,350. You pay it one time. Lifetime mentorship, which means millionaire mentoring every week. Accountability calls. I think give a bonus. I'm gonna give a bonus, right? And this goes for anybody, whether you join me or Frank. I'm gonna give a bonus. If you join, if you decide that you actually, you want this help, you like us, right? You wanna learn the strategies that's changed my life, that's changing Frank's life. We're also gonna give you a Super Saturday. This is a $3,000 3-hour video. It's $1,000 an hour because that's how much our mentor charges. It's a recording though. We're gonna give it to you, right? Usually this is only for people that they were actually there, but because you're actually taking this leap of faith, we're gonna give it to you, right? That's my bonus. And I think Frank, I'll send you the link so you can send it to the people too that sign up under you. You can send them over to them. I'm gonna send you the link. I have to find it. I'm gonna find it and send it over. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Like, honestly, look, get the money out of the way. 1,350, whether that sounds like a lot or not, in 10 years, you're not gonna remember it. I know I don't remember. I know I won't remember it, right? We're not gonna. You just want to get the money out of the way and simply decide, I'm gonna get help, and get help, right? Okay. And that's how your life's gonna move forward. So click the button below, guys, or just reach back to whoever sent you. Let's get you started. I'm looking forward to seeing you inside.
Cool. See you next time. Bye-bye.